Everything's a thought. Everything's mental. You create your reality with your thoughts. You build your story with your mind. When I built this story, I wanted to be Mr. Olympia. That starts with a thought. Then come the actions. I learned that I can apply that to many things. And it can bring things into your reality.
Dorian Yates. The Shadow. Mr. Olympia. Universally recognized as the best body on the planet for 6 years in a row. Dorian built his story by pushing his body to the limits of human potential. He sacrificed friends, family, and any concept of a normal life. He achieved extraordinary things and was worshipped for it. Then one day, the same body that defined him failed him and destroyed his reality. What does a man do when his entire identity is suddenly wiped out? He can give up, become the victim, or he can transcend it. He can choose to rebuild. He can reinvent himself. Everything begins with a thought, and then come the actions. My name is Brian Rose. Like Dorian, I once had everything I wanted. I spent 10 years as a banker amassing more money than I knew what to do with. I took clients racing in Monaco and skiing in Switzerland. I had all the toys a boy could want. Everyone thought I had it all. And I was dying inside. One day I walked away from it in search of a new reality. I started a show called London Real. In-depth conversations with inspiring people that I broadcast to the world. It was my attempt to connect. It made me open up my heart and start to care about others. I began to reinvent myself. And I started to heal. One year later, in 2013, Dorian walked into my studio. I was surprised. He had never spoken at length to the media for his entire career. Hence his nickname, The Shadow. I didn't expect to learn anything new from a bodybuilder, even if he was the 6-time Mr. Olympia. But instead of talking about the body, he spoke to me about the soul. London Reelers picked up on his vibrations, and he became our most popular guest in history. 2.5 years later, he came back on the show. Everything about him was different. The way he looked, the way he talked, his whole aura had shifted. Dorian had changed, and I needed to find out more. After the show, he invited me to his home on the southern tip of Spain. But why Spain? What was the shadow doing in the sun? I finally had my chance to find out what truly made him tick. I needed to see how this man had looked into the abyss, embraced the change in his life, and totally reinvented himself. My first day here, and Dorian told me to meet him at the gym. It was time for me to understand how the shadow was created. To do that, I needed to walk a mile in his shoes.
The way I approach the contest is Dorian Yates against Dorian Yates of last year. And that's what I'm trying to beat. I'm trying to beat the Dorian Yates of last year rather than thinking about beating other people, which basically I have no control over. So that's my competition.
Dorian had pushed past every physical instinct in order to reach his goal. He used anger. It can get you a long way. I used it myself as a young man on Wall Street, obsessed with making money.
But what people got to realize is when I'm on stage, when I'm in the gym, that's my job. And to me, you know, it is serious. I take that seriously.
But Dorian took it to another level. He pounded his body into submission day after day after day. Everyone has access to the same equipment, the same knowledge, even the same drugs. What made Dorian different, what made him a champion, was embracing the pain. Because where there's pain, there's growth. Dorian's leg training sessions were notorious in the bodybuilding community. The bigger the muscle group, the bigger the pain.
Dominate the machine!
Everyone dreaded his leg day. But every now and then, some sucker would venture up to Temple Gym and give one a try.
Fucking bitch!
It never ended well.
Hey, Brian.
This is it. There's the spot, right?
Welcome to the jungle, man.
Love it, love it. What a great setup here.
Yeah, we're going to start outside, a little bit different from Temple Gym.
Yeah,
We've
right?
got a nice outside area with the sun and everything like that. So we're going to start out there with a little bit of stretching, mobility exercises.
Okay, sounds good.
And it's leg day today, man.
It's leg day.
It's straight in the deep end, man. Why not?
You're known for your leg days,
Yeah.
right?
So it's going to be fun. Let's go. Let's go
excited.
outside.
What do you look for when you look for a gym to train in?
It's really about the equipment, good hardcore equipment, and preferably a conducive atmosphere.
Okay.
I can't go to a gym where it's, you know, these corporate fitness gyms where if you're making noise or you happen to drop the weight or something like that they're going to get upset. So it's hard to find a real good gym, and that's what we had in Temple Gym. People used to feel it when they walk down the stairs. Like, gyms is somewhere where you do some hard-ass work. You're going to be sweating, you're going to be groaning, you're going to be making noise, and if that intimidates somebody in there, then they shouldn't be in there. It's not a gym, you know? It's all about the hard work. It's all about the work, man.
And do you try to leave it all on the table when you go in for a workout like this? Do you try to die?
If you're going to work in your comfort zone, why is your body going to adapt and change? It has no stress. Muscle growth is an adaptation to a stress, yeah? So if you're used to this level of stress, your body's not going to change. Guys come to start training, their body's not used to anything, right? So anything is going to be a stress. Pretty soon the body starts to adapt, and you see people, they will grow and they'll progress for maybe a year, 18 months, and after that they don't really get anywhere, because now your body's got used to that. Now you've got to, every time you've got to push beyond. You know, you feel good when you've pushed past your limits.
That's
you
where
know?
all the fun happens, right?
That's the satisfaction of going there, and you know, every impulse is telling you not to do this because it's hurting and like hell, you know, and it's tough, but it's like a habit. If you can overcome that, it's going to be easier next time, and that's like life. If you're going to just fold and fall down, oh, this is good chance you're going to do that next time, and next time it becomes a habit, you know.
And in other parts in your life, you do
Yeah,
that
as
too.
well. That's what we're doing today, man.
Good, I like it. I had a guest on my show, and he was a Navy SEAL, and he said he used to ask the guys before Bud's training, why are you going to do this? Why are you going to make it through Hell Week? And one guy would be like, because I want to be the baddest Marine ever. And one guy would be like, because I don't want to let my family down.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are the guys that made it through? Always the ones that had a higher purpose.
Yeah,
you know?
that's your motivation.
Yeah.
You know, and my motivation when I was bodybuilding was I wanted to change my life. I didn't want to be in
Wanted to get out of
everything that was surrounding me and the limitations that you know people believed that they had. And you know, I had this kid. I'm reading these magazines about these guys, and it was like no internet. I mean, this is a different world, right?
Yeah.
And people, you know, couldn't even relate to it. But I was determined to be successful, at least to some degree, from day one, you know?
And that was your ticket out.
Yeah.
How hard you could go in the gym was your ticket to almost literally transport you to another world.
Exactly. How hard could I go in the gym? How well could I stick to my diet?
Yeah.
How well could I, you know, make sure I got enough rest and didn't get distracted? And there's a lot of things to it, you know? The gym aspect is just one part of it.
So have an intention.
Absolutely. You got to have a goal, you know? It's like you got to have a plan and a desire. Because if I haven't got a desire, when it gets really uncomfortable, you're probably just going to say, hey, screw this, this is enough, you know?
Right. Good.
All right. So we're going to do a light set to get the movement, get everything, get the blood in there. We're going to do a medium set to further, you know, get the body and the mind ready.
Yeah.
And then the last set is going to be like somebody's got a gun to your little baby's head, yeah? And he's gonna pull the trigger unless you fucking give 100%. It's life and death. One set. Then we move on to another exercise. The toughest stuff is first. Trust me, those 3 exercises.
Okay.
The other ones are tough, but 3 quad exercises are the beast, you know?
I just had a little baby, so the gun,
I know you did.
the gun to his head reference is very...
I thought so. I thought that would work.
That's pretty painful.
Yeah. That's a set. That's a set.
Are these like the plates you had at Temple? These are old school, right?
Yeah, these are real weights, man.
Do you like?
Real old iron.
You prefer this?
Yeah. Don't want to be too sanitized, you know? It's not nice. It's nasty, this shit, you know?
Nasty, right?
Yeah.
Dark and nasty.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta get angry. You gotta push. You gotta visualize whatever helps you get through that set, you know? I used to do, you know, I say to myself, this is for my family. This is for my wife and my kid, and, you know, And even like kind of a fuck you motivation. This is for everybody that thinks I can't do it.
Yeah.
You know? Let's see about that.
This is them laughing at me when I don't.
And this is because I don't want to be
like them.
like that guy, you know?
Right.
You know?
Right. I don't want to end up
I gotta
like
fight.
him.
I gotta get out there, you know?
And so it's you and the weights keeping you from being like that guy.
Exactly, yeah.
Powerful. They're the two words you don't want Dorian to say. One more. Does it frustrate you when people that are uneducated think that steroids is the missing link as opposed to what you just saw in there, just going past your limits?
You know, not really, because people who don't know, they don't know, you know? Maybe if I knew nothing about bodybuilding, I might assume that, because, I mean, a bodybuilder looks like something really strange, right? Like a freak. But, you know, we all know that guys cycling around the mountains and other athletes use steroids, maybe not to the extent that bodybuilders do. It's part of the game. We never deny that. But
We're seeing what
this is what it's all about,
yeah,
you know?
this is what it's all about.
Steroids just help you to recover from this stress, you know, more efficiently. And as you get bigger and stronger, it's harder for your body to recover, you know? And it gets to some point where you just reach a ceiling because you can't recover from the exercise. That's why I tell people that, you know, that haven't been training very long or beginners, you don't need steroids. And then if you're going to compete, maybe then you're going to make a choice. But I wouldn't recommend it to anybody that doesn't compete. I don't see the point, because you can't, once you stop taking the steroids, you can't keep all those gains. You cannot, yeah? So then you get somewhat of an addiction with people because they feel good to be this powerful guy and they don't want to lose that. So then they're in a cycle of continuously taking steroids, which is, you know?
Yeah. Would steroids help you with a little extra aggro in the gym sometimes?
Yeah, you know, testosterone is a male hormone. It makes you, you know, gives you that drive, gives you that aggressiveness.
Yeah.
So you'll get, you know, you will get that from steroids. And you've got to be careful that doesn't spill out into other areas of your life, which, you know, it does sometimes with some guys, you know?
Yeah.
They can't control that. I was very good at channeling all my aggression in the gym, and I didn't have anything left for afterwards, you know? So I didn't have that problem, but it will increase your aggressiveness and assertiveness and all the things we associate with being masculine male. Strong grind, come on. 6. 7, easy. One more, come on. 3. 2 more. One more, you got it, come on, you got it. One more, last one. Everything. Rock it up. Down a bit, this side. All right, that's it, good set. Okay?
Yeah, good.
It's taxing. I can see you're already going a little pale. There's oxygen there. Oxygen
A little
there.
darkness there. Which is strange because I do legs every week, but I don't do them like this.
Yeah, well, not many people do, but if you want to get results, this is the best way to do it, you know?
Yeah, you have to fight every impulse
Yeah.
to stop.
Yeah, but you knew we were there, right?
Yeah.
You knew we were there. Nothing bad can happen.
But my lizard brain tells me I'm gonna get crushed.
Yeah.
And I have nothing in my legs.
Yeah. So that just shows you probably, if I wasn't there, you probably would have finished 3 or 4 reps less than we did.
Yeah.
And that's the key.
And if I don't do that, I don't really make
Everybody wants
improvements.
to know what the secret is. You just learn.
Those
That's
last
it.
3 reps. So
That's the difference.
it's just the fact that people aren't willing to go to the most painful place in their brain.
Day after day.
Day after day.
Day after day. Nothing special about this. It's every day, call it day in the office. You know, it's another day in the office. This is, you know, this is what I do.
Right.
And that was good. Very, very proud of you, man.
Okay,
All right,
thanks, man.
have a little breather.
Okay. Man.
Walk around a little bit. Walk
Okay.
around. Move.
Dorian's proud of me. That's a good sign. Yeah, that was pretty intense. I didn't realize it would be that like mind-boggling. I've done these exercises before, but I've never done them with Dorian there. And so he just forces you to go extra hard, and he's piling a lot of weight on there. And so yeah, but I just trust him and then go for that extra. That last set I thought was gonna crush me, that last rep. But he's right, that's what gives you the breakdown in the muscle that gets you to the next level. And most people, probably myself too, go to the gym and they train within their limits. So, but how you gonna improve if you don't get out of your comfort zone?
It wasn't really my body. I was very detached from it. It was like a project that I was working on, and through hard work and dedication, I could build this project. The challenge of doing something and being the best at it, not only the best, I wanted to like exceed what had been done before. I'm good at this, and this is what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to put, you know, people say don't put all your eggs in one basket, but I just had one egg, so I better look after that egg and, you know, nurture it.
We're talking about the results of consistency, of 10 years of dedication, day in, day out, absolutely getting the most out of each day.
It's all about the work. Nobody worked harder than me in bodybuilding. I'm sure of that fact. The guys that competed against me, they were so good because I was there. They knew this maniac, yeah, was over in England, in the cold, in the rain, in this dungeon, and he was just kicking ass day by day. A lot of deaths I've seen throughout my life. You know, my sister died when I was younger, my father died, my grandparents died. So, you know, probably more motivation to really make something of this opportunity, this life. Let's do something. Gotta do this, and every day I've got to give 100% on that day of what I can do towards this goal. And kind of was like living in a tunnel, living in a bubble. Stuff was going on around me, but I didn't really take much notice of it. You know, I didn't get distracted. Trying to find a picture of me smiling pre-97. Try and find one. There's very, very few pictures. I mean, that tells something to me now, you know? That very stoic, and I was known for not smiling on stage. You know, I created a whole other persona which people liked anyway. It was the mean, you know, Terminator guy that doesn't smile and is just like a rock, you know? So in a way it worked for me, but it wasn't in any way planned. That was just the way I was. This guy, he comes out of his gym in Birmingham, goes to a contest, devastates everybody, and disappears, and everyone's like, who's that guy? Where does he come from? All this enigma, and then disappears in his gym for another year or 2 years and just trains and doesn't let anyone see him because he's got sweatshirt on all the time, and then pops up again and just blows everyone's mind and disappears again. Like a shadow. I almost feel like a different person now. Now I feel really kind of getting to know who I am, what I am, and feel comfortable about that. But I'm 54 years old, you know, so I'm just starting to get there.
Dorian invited me to his home on the beach. We were a long way from Birmingham.
Bodybuilding was so individual for me. I had to study the nutrition. I had to do the training. I had to find out how it worked with my body. There were no teammates. There were no family. There was nobody to let me down. It was just all down to me, win or lose, and that was the appeal.
He said he had something to show me that no one had seen before. Something that would reveal his innermost self as it was back in his training days. Dorian always turned to London real when it was time to open up. Year after year, he came back when he had something new to reveal to the world. Dorian didn't let many people in, but he trusted me.
You dropped out of school at 16?
16, yeah. I didn't do my formal examinations or anything like that.
So who taught you the scientific method that's based in his books? Because I trained science as a kid. I became an engineer later, and it sounds like you're holding a pretty strict protocol to a scientific method here.
I don't know. Nobody really taught me it. It just came. Maybe I read a suggestion somewhere. It's good to keep a training journal. I think Mike Mensa might have said it's good to keep a training journal. But yeah, I was just very meticulous about what I was doing, very serious about what I was doing from day one. I mean, we got some of the books here.
Yeah, what do we have
that I fished out. I haven't got them all here, but this one is from May 1984 to October 1984. And I started training in 83, and look what we got on here. Strength of body, power of mind.
Wow.
And this is,
what is that symbol, too?
I don't know. I don't even know. I did it at that time.
You're channeling some energy there.
Yeah, I don't even know, but, you know, we got stuff on there, mass and power. You know, I'm a kid, so I'm still just like a little bit kid-like, you know, but high-intensity training. Before we're talking about high-intensity training already.
Yeah, asterisks there.
Yeah. Ceiling Unlimited is just...
It's interesting because these all have nothing to do with weight training specifically.
It's more to do with the mental side,
aspect.
More to do with the mental side of it. And I always saw that as the key. And that was my strength that I had over everybody else. So we got in here. I had a layoff for 5 days, probably was feeling tired or something.
Like a bit smooth watch diet, so you're already watching your body shape.
Yeah. Okay, this is funny, man. It's funny for me because I haven't read these things for years and years, right? So here we got Monday, 27th of May, 1984. Lack of motivation and concentration. I'm totally ashamed of this lame workout. Total intensity blasting from now on. So I must have had a bad day, and I'm having a word with myself.
Having a word with yourself.
Yeah.
So what are the things you see here when you're going through here?
I mean, it takes me back to sitting in my one-bedroom council flat in Castle Vale.
Castle Vale was the
Castle
estate
Vale.
name.
It's a council estate. It was notorious at the time. I think it's a bit more civilized now, and violence. I mean, if you didn't live on Castle Vale, you didn't want to go on Castle Vale. You wouldn't go on there. It's very tribal at that time. I think things have changed now. Yeah, I was dreaming to make it out of there. I don't really know if I knew, but I knew good things were coming. You know, I was doing something here positive. I was putting my energy in it, and something good was going to come out of it. You know? And I knew I had potential to do something. I think I started thinking, well, I'm great if I could be British champion one day. Something like that, you know,
like
at that
medium
point.
goals.
Yeah. And I think it's important not to have your goals. It's okay to, you know, think in the back of your mind, you know, I want to do this. But if you only think about that, it's so far away. It's not you got to break it down into smaller goals. And this, I'll be sitting in my apartment writing this stuff down. I remember now being there. I mean, even when I won the British Championship, I was British champion, and I came home to this council flat, very sparsely furnished, as I said, just a mattress. I didn't have a proper bed, a couch and a TV and a cooker, and that's it. But I don't remember being unhappy or anything like that. You know, I was just really happy to be driven and being able to pursue these goals.
Might be my first Mr. Olympia contest, and people might think, well, he's going to be overawed by the occasion and intimidated. There's no way, you know, I'm prepared psychologically. I believe in myself, and, you know, I'm coming here to show everybody what I've done.
Mainly, I just kept myself to myself, and I was this quiet guy that, you know, just used to catch the bus and go to the gym and come back again and, you know, walk down to the supermarket and get his groceries and cart them back to the apartment.
Did they even know you were a bodybuilder?
Yeah, people recognize, you know, they recognize the physique when it starts developing. Probably for the first couple of years, not really.
Right, because you stayed covered up, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was always covered up. I wasn't doing it for anyone else. And it's kind of like I didn't want to show anybody because it wasn't ready yet.
Right.
It's like an artist with his painting. They don't want nobody to look at that shit till it's finished, you know?
I like to go home, you know, in my own environment, with my own family, my own friends, and everything where I feel comfortable, and just train there, and nobody knows what's going on. And I'm working day in, day out, all year round to improve my physique. And then I can pop up, you know, here like at the Mr. Olympia, and everybody's going to be saying, wow, what happened to this guy, you know, because they haven't seen me all year, so they're going to see the improvement.
How do you equate those two Dorians in your own mind? This guy was literally daily goal-oriented, if not hourly. When to train, when to eat, how much to train, versus you now. And it seems like your goals now are very, you know, general goals. I want to be a better person. I want to connect more.
I want to travel. I want to experience. And but without this groundwork, and I look back and I got a tremendous respect for this young guy, you know, because all the odds were stacked against. No family, you know, support and background and encouragement. You know, living on my own in a council estate, and it's just so far away from what, you know, the home of bodybuilding in America and stuff. So I was just dreaming about it.
Did you take time off between a big win?
Well, that was leading me into a recollection that I had after one Mr. Olympia. I don't know which one it was. And Dorian, when do you start training? When do you start preparing for next year? How long are you on, like, next week? Like, with a straight face, next week. I'm like, sorry, what do you mean? Next week. You know?
Yeah.
Like, all year, man, all year. I don't take any breaks, you know? Somebody asked me one time, like, why don't you take a couple of months off training? I said, why don't you take a couple of months off sex? Pushing and pushing resulted in me getting injuries, and whether I did get to the next level, that's a matter of opinion. I think some areas I did improve even after the injury.
A lot of people don't really know this, but this year I had a lot of problems with injuries and so on. And there was a couple of times I really thought it wasn't going to be possible for me to be here and be competing in the Mr. Olympia. But I persevered, I pushed through, and it makes this victory all the more sweeter. And it makes me, reinforces how important the title is to me. And I'll be back next year. I'll definitely be back next year and better than ever.
But obviously, once you got that bicep injury like that, it's never going to be the same. So that was a weakness. I felt threatened by my injuries only. But 95, no, I remember feeling very positive. 96 and 97 was, you know, with the tricep injury. That was my most doubtful moment. But 97 was very tough, not one I enjoyed at all. I was on stage having to take painkillers, anti-inflammatory and stuff like that, and I didn't feel like that indestructible guy. And it's probably the nearest I came to being beaten by Nasser Al-Sambati. The funny thing was, as I said, this total tunnel vision, this total dedication to this lifestyle and this goal, I was starting to feel uncomfortable with it. I was starting to think, this is starting to feel like a job now. The aura was definitely down that year, you know? It didn't make a lot of sense to me at the time, but now it does, because I know about energy and auras and that kind of stuff.
Behold, here cometh the dreamer. Let us slay him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams.
Dorian, yesterday you told us some pretty serious news about your career at the moment. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, as people may know, in training for the last Mr. Olympia competition, I had a very serious injury, which occurred about 3 weeks out from the competition. Almost completely tore off the tricep tendon. I've had setbacks before, I've had adverse circumstances, and I've always got to the top, so I'm sure that'll be the case once again.
It was actually clinical depression after retiring from bodybuilding. Somebody close to me died in tragic circumstances. My marriage was breaking up and getting divorced. I stopped cold turkey taking anabolic steroids, which is a powerful hormone and obviously has effect on your mentality. Thankfully, the one thing that I think saved me so that I was not that guy that was just lying in bed and didn't get up in the morning was I always went to the gym. And I always felt a bit better afterwards. And, you know, you see the guys at the gym and you talk a little bit. But then I'd go home and like, what am I doing now? But there's no goal there anymore. And stuff, but I felt with my injury, I just felt again, I don't want people to look at me because I'm not happy with the way I look now with the injury, you know? The thing for me though was it was a bit traumatic because it wasn't a choice. It wasn't planned. Everything else I'd done was strategic, it was planned. The contest, when I should do it, and it was planned out, it was military, you know? And here, boom, like, what are you gonna do now, you know? But perhaps I'm philosophical about it. Perhaps that had to happen because my life had to change a direction. You know, it was very limited. It's tough, you know, really tough mentally because I'm getting up in the morning and what do I do now? What's my motivation? You know, this all-consuming thing as an athlete. I came to the conclusion that a lot of people seek to replace that. And I know a lot of high-level super athletes. You're talking about Sugar Ray Leonard here and people like that, Frank Bruno as well. And a lot of people get into the whole drugs thing. Yeah. And I got the theory on that because they're looking for that high, that thing that you got from competition. But I realized pretty quickly, you're not going to replace that. You cannot replace that because it is what it is, yeah? And certainly drugs are not going to do it for you.
If depression is living in the past, partying was Dorian's attempt to live in the present. William Blake once wrote, "The road to excess leads to the palace of wisdom. You never know what is enough until you know what is more than enough." Excess was something I knew plenty about. In the banking world, you are practically defined by how much you consume. But it's a slippery slope, and many never make it back. I met Dorian in Puerto Banús, the hedonistic seaport where he had once chased his demons.
Can you tell us about some of those party days when, you know, before you met Gal, when you were single?
Oh, I don't know. My daughter's going to watch this thing now.
You gotta tell us a little bit because there is no dark without the light or light without the
exactly.
dark.
You know what it was? I think I went through this transition thing when I retired and, you know, everything fell apart. My nephew passed away very young, tragically. My marriage was breaking up. My career was ended. It was like, you know, I was falling into this pit. And then I just like, you know, my whole construct was like falling apart, right?
Yeah.
So I think often people that, you know, start to get spiritual, they go through this like crisis first, you know, and maybe that's what it was. And I started reading a lot of religious stuff, and that's where I started, you know. I started reading books and gathering information and realizing, you know, things weren't exactly as I thought they were, or they, you know, growing up and watching TV and going to school and all that stuff. But I think it was almost too heavy at that time.
Right. You weren't ready to receive that message.
I was then getting the facts, but like, what am I going to do about this, you know? So it was a little bit like, okay, but I'm just going to have fun now, you know?
Yeah.
So, I partied a lot in Vegas, in the States, New York. You know, whole weekends just out there partying, different girls and all that stuff. I think I had to do that because I was living such a, you know, restricted lifestyle.
You were living like a monk for those 14, 15
So I had to go
years.
through all that to like get balanced out a little bit.
Right.
And, you know, when I met Gal, I was pretty slightly balancing out. And
so that was at the end of 10 years of that, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, not like, hey, I'm just a hedonistic party animal all the time, because I was still, you know, still eating healthy, still going to gym, all that stuff. But on my trips away and things like that, you know, I go hell for leather, and I partied just as hard as I'd trained and anything else I do.
Yeah.
So I was into that crazy stuff, man. I mean, I was thinking today, several times, guys offered me their wives. Like, Dorian, you're so cool, I like you so much. And my wife likes you as well. You know, you want to have her, you can have her. And that's just a crazy thing.
How do you respond to that, Dorian?
Usually, you know, like a little bit, thanks a lot, and just like kind of smooth it over. And one time I was like, okay, let's go for it.
Yesterday you told me that someone once told you you could never have too much money or too many women.
Yeah, that was Mike Mensa.
Okay.
He's like, you know, he was talking about training.
Right.
Everybody thinks more is better. Well, more is not better with training, you know, definitely not. And, you know, he's just making a joke. Like, the only thing is more is better is money and women. And I wouldn't agree with that, you know?
Right.
Bring more money, more women, bringing more problems. So, yeah, but it was a funny statement. It got people's attention, you know?
Just had a question about the old party days before I put those to rest.
Yeah.
There's a picture of the web, and there's a girl that has a tattoo on her somewhere that says Dorian's girl.
That's
tattoo.
Gal.
Oh, that's Gal, okay, all right. Okay, good. Are there many of those out there?
No, that's
Okay,
unique
good.
to Gal, that tattoo,
Okay.
as far as I know.
Good.
And I think meeting Gal was definitely calming, stabilizing influence. So we make a great team. Two unusual animals.
You are the best man in my life, and the only man in my life. I love you always, you have my love always.
I was telling the guys, I was like, try to conceive of the fact that any nightclub you go to in the world, most likely the doormen not only know you, they're huge fans of you.
Yeah.
And that must boggle your mind, the access you get to everything.
Yeah, that's great because whatever you want to call it, you know, fame, celebrity, I got a little bit of it, you know, and the advantages of those advantages, right?
Yeah.
Well, I can walk down the street and most people don't know who the hell I am because it's like a niche thing.
Yeah.
If you're into the gym world, guys like idolize me, you know, it's like, you know, that's
Yeah.
what they do, and I got right to the top, and they know what that fucking involves, so
Yeah.
got a lot of respect and everything like that, and they're very happy to meet me and entertain me and everything. But, you know, I walk around here, most people don't know who I am unless they're, you know, unless they know me, they've met me, or, you know, they're into that world. So I'm not like, you know, I'm not gonna get harassed walking down the street.
Which is nice.
Yeah, it's great. Oh, that would be a nightmare, you know? And most of the, you know, I'm usually just walking around. I'm not walking around in Mr. Olympia mode. It's almost like, you know, that's almost like an act, right? You know, when you're working, you got to be that guy, and people are looking for that guy. But when I'm not even, you know, I just think I'm a normal guy. And sometimes people are looking at me and doing double takes, and I'm half thinking, why are they looking at me? And then I realize, oh, okay, probably, you know, he's recognized me.
Or you look like someone who is someone.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
I don't know. Walk past the boats and the crazy expensive cars and go get a cheap ice cream.
Let's do it.
All right.
I was a little uneasy about meeting Dorian at his private members club.
The best herb.
I had a funny feeling this wouldn't be like any place I knew in London.
Best herb on the scene.
This was really not my scene.
Fancy meeting you here.
Good to see you.
Yeah, cool, man. Let me show you around the place, Joe's Smoking Club.
This is Joe's, huh?
My private members club for people that appreciate cannabis. It's like a collective. We all put together and support the club, and so we can get good quality cannabis when we need it.
Right, and this is a really relaxed, chill atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a nice place to hang out. We've got pool tables down here, a nice seating area upstairs, some nice music and so on. So I'll show you upstairs.
Yeah,
mate.
let's take a look.
It's almost like they built this place for me, you know, because first when you go up the stairs here, you got this guy, Bob Marley.
And you've got Bob tattooed on your front shin, right?
And
There we go.
we got Bob Marley here. Got Bob Marley on the wall here. So here you got the upstairs nice seating area. Some cool
love
messages
that.
on the wall.
I love this.
That's what it's all about,
Right?
Peace, love, enjoy, relax. That's what it's all about, and that's why we're here.
There was one condition for this whole trip Dorian had insisted upon.
To finish the whole thing off on Sunday night, of course, Brian has promised to smoke a joint with DY. That could be the most dangerous thing you ever agreed to.
It could be. It could be. We'll have to get that on tape as well.
We will.
I was hoping he would forget about that one.
Yeah, it's my friend Abdul. What's up, man? You doing all right?
Abdul, how are you?
And,
Brian, good to see you. So what's on the list today?
Yeah, we got the strawberry, kosher kush, bling bling, white widow, and some mango, which I've never heard of before.
And like you said, this is the kind of club you want to be hanging out at, right? Because it doesn't have all those other bad side effects that a lot of clubs have.
No, exactly. I mean, you go to a nightclub and people are drinking a lot of alcohol. There's always a possibility of violence there, you know, something's going to happen, and people throwing up, getting sick, all kind of madness going on. You don't get that in a place where you get cannabis. People are just relaxed, nice and social, and nice and quiet, relaxed atmosphere, you know?
Very nice. Wow, what do we have here?
So we got Abdul. So looking for a sativa.
Sativa is in bling and strawberry.
Bring and strawberry.
The white widow. So mango is 50-50.
Yeah. And the kush is a heavier one if you want to sleep, yeah?
Yeah, kush.
That's,
medicinal.
Yeah, that's not my preference.
What are you smelling?
Well, you tell me.
Whew. It smells concentrated.
It's kind of fruity smelling one. That's probably why it's called strawberry. So for me, I'm just going to have a gram of the strawberry, please. Used to be in one joint, now it lasts me a few days. Now.
It used to be one.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
I was wondering if you could tell me about your relationship with cannabis.
I've reduced a lot and got a lot more control over it, whereas before it was getting a bit habitual. You know, because the plant has a spirit, and he said the spirit is like inside, the spirit is like controlling you, you know? And that's what happens. It's very seductive, and you can take too much and then it's not such a positive thing. And this plant is a teacher plant, just like the ayahuasca. It's a teacher plant and it's a helper. Too much of it is not good. It's imbalancing your energy. So you need to, you know, get on top of that. So I still smoke, but it's way less than I used to. And now I do it with respect and I do it with some intention. Why am I smoking? Just to watch TV and stone out, you know, or you know, am I smoking to help me relax, to go to sleep, or do I want to help me see more, to visualize more, to think outside of the normal box? Nothing's all good and nothing's all bad. There's, you know, shades of gray.
Psychedelics. They are controversial but effective. My history with the plant teacher ayahuasca had reinvented my life, enough to make me a father at 45 years old. Dorian once told me the ego gets in the way, and sometimes it needs to be destroyed. Where drugs once expanded his muscles, now they expanded his mind. Typical of Dorian, he went to the extreme with the most powerful psychedelic, DMT.
What do you take away from those DMT experiences?
It's tremendous amount of information that you get in, and it was like the higher me talking to me and telling me like the biggest problem we have here really on this planet, on this plane, is the ego, you know? The ego gets in the way of everything, and the ego is not really you know? The ego is just a construct we've formed in this, yeah.
Was ego what built your whole career?
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, initially, why would you want to be the best in the world at something, you know? I guess it must be your ego.
On our first episode, we spoke about DMT, and you had even said that we were going to smoke DMT together. I went on to do a before and after episode, but I know you had an experience with DMT.
Yeah, you did it without me, man. What's that about?
You kind of disappeared.
You couldn't wait, right? Yeah, I went into the shadows again. Shadow, you know? I call it a door opener for me to like, wow, you realize it's, you know, there's another world out there, and where we live is just like, it's just a narrow piece of light. Taking psychedelics, it takes you out of that, and you see that there's more out there. I don't know if I would take psychedelics again. Maybe I would take ayahuasca again if I felt there was a reason, if I had something I really wanted to know or work on or something like that. But it comes to a point where once you picked up the receiver and you took the call, put it back down and you don't need to take that call again.
And you much prefer ayahuasca over DMT because it's a longer message.
Well, now I'm going to contradict my first interview, aren't I?
I gotta be honest, it was like something I would never do again. So I just met my future wife and I said, look, I'm gonna take this stuff now. And she said, oh, I'll look after you. I said, I'm probably gonna puke and shit myself, so if you still fancy me after this. It made me as sick as you can. I mean, this stuff was just like drinking paint stripper. It was, just to get it down was a chore, you know? But as far as like revelations and hearing things and seeing things, I didn't get too much. I was quite disappointed, to be honest.
Now I look back, I did hear something. Now I recall. Not what I wanted to hear, not what I wanted to see, because I didn't really see anything much. But I got a repetitive message in my brain, stop poisoning yourself. Because I was, you know, drinking, doing the party drugs sometimes, all this kind of stuff. So I was poisoning myself. And the ayahuasca gives you what you need. And at that point, that's all I needed to know and hear. Forget about seeing your spirit animals, mate, and all that stuff and great revelations of what life's all about. Stop poisoning yourself. That's my advice to you right now. I love to be in the sun, man. 50 years of living in Birmingham. Now I've become like a beach rat. Huge change since the first interview I did. You know, I'm still just doing the same, training heavy and, you know, and I spoke to my business partner. He's like, do some different things. Got new interests with the yoga and the meditation. And people always criticize me for being like, not being like emotional on stage and not smiling and all this stuff. But I learned that at an early age when my dad died. I learned to kind of control and hide the emotions. I don't know why, it was just a big thing that when I went back to school, I didn't want to cry. I didn't want people to see me break down. I didn't want to see me cry when I went back to school after that, you know? And I didn't. And I think I always had that thing inside that I kind of suppress and control. But the first time I won the Night of Champions and the first time I won the Mr. Olympia, if you look at the footage, you see I'm biting my lip. That's like to suppress the kid. Because I did feel like breaking down and crying because it's accumulation of all these years training and all this, but I had to kind of control it because that was something I'd practiced for many years and got quite good at, you know. I actually look back at pictures of myself about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when I was living in England. And I say, who's this old, sick-looking white guy?
Well, there's a picture of you at London Real Studios with me from January 2013, so almost 4 years ago. And you do look different. You know, you've got really close-shaved hair. You do look, well, sicker than you do now. Now you look completely relaxed. You've got a beard like Ernest Hemingway. And you do look different, even in that short amount of time.
Yeah, well, you know, the inner self has changed, right? So there's going to be some changes on the outside, I think. I mean, I noticed my wardrobe at some point. I don't know what it was, like a year and a half ago, when I started doing yoga and started meditating. I'm like, what's with all these black shirts and these gray shirts and stuff? I don't want to wear these anymore. I don't want to wear yellow and orange and red and, you know, it's just a whole different feeling, different vibration. And that has definitely helped. I mean, I didn't really know what meditation was. You sit there and you try to think of nothing, and it's almost like it slows everything down. So you don't knee-jerk reaction to anything anymore. And it changes your vibration as we're talking. And I think situations and the universe and people start reacting differently to you.
Do you think you can kind of draw parallels between that and when you used to lift in the gym? Are there similarities?
I used to say that training was my meditation, because it's kind of, you're focusing on one thing, focusing on one subject. I'm focused on this exercise and lifting this weight and feeling the muscle stretch and feeling it contract. And while I'm doing that, I'm not thinking about anything else. So my mind is getting a rest from all the other shit, like whatever I got to do today, what about the bills, what about this, what about that, you know, that's all gone. When I went to the gym, that is all gone. So exercise is a form of meditation as well. It all fits together, you know, meditation, physical exercise, diet, the whole thing, the whole lifestyle, it all goes together.
Including yoga now.
Including yoga, yeah.
And
there's a funny thing. Well, why did I start doing yoga? It was about 2 years ago. Is the last time I took DMT, and I made my very best effort to take absolutely as much as I possibly could. But in any case, I came back from that and I felt like something's wrong with my body. It's all like, you know, I was like hunched over with the shoulders, and I couldn't even sit down in a full squat anymore. It was like uncomfortable on my hips and my back. And I thought, wow, this is not right. I need to straighten this shit out, you know? And I just got it in my head, yoga or Tai Chi or Qigong or something like that I need to do, you know? It never really occurred to me before. Looks like a woman's thing, like silly things with hand up in the air and like, I squat 600 pounds and bench press 450. And so I had these big, powerful legs and everything. So we got into a pose, a warrior pose, which is like a lunge and you got to hold it, you know? I didn't realize how long you held these poses. I thought it was a couple of, you know, I was there and I started shaking, and then I just buckled and I fell on the floor. And Gemma, who's my instructor, just looked at me and went, Dorian, like, you know, like, hey, it's, you know, big guy, it's not so easy as maybe you thought, you know? And it wasn't. So I don't fall over anymore. I got a bit better and everything like that. It probably would have been great for me to do a little bit when I was training. Would have helped me to avoid some injuries. It would have helped made me more mobile and flexible in the posing and stuff like that. So it would have had benefits back then, but I wouldn't have listened to that back then, you know?
And a lot of people ask you now, Dorian, do you even lift?
Yeah, no, I don't even lift, man. It's true, I don't even lift. I feel like I've almost got a new body. That's the benefit of yoga, apart from the fact that it's not just a physical exercise, it's a spiritual exercise as well. You're tuning yourself up. I mean, these guys thousands of years ago, they figured out these positions do certain things to your body and to your energy and all that stuff. There's been a few times when at the end we do a meditation at the end to relax, and a few times I physically start crying at the end. Not anymore, but I think there was stuff that had to come out.
Yeah, I got a little.
I was too like before, you know. I had to get a bit more female energy, whatever it is. I feel bad, man. Mr. Olympia cries.
I was thinking of Dorian in '93, how he bit his lip, or '92 when you won. And I was like, well, Dorian wouldn't cry, so I'm not going to cry.
Yeah,
but I was close to crying there.
Dorian, right?
Yeah, that's the
That was Dorian trying to suppress his emotions, where now I don't try to do that. I enjoy being with my teacher because I take a totally different approach to this, where I try not to learn about it. I try to be like, I'm totally in your hands. I'm a baby here, I don't know anything.
Yoga session stirred up a lot of emotions from my past. I'd come a long way in the last few years. And seeing Dorian flowing with movement and energy on that beach made me realize how far he had come. There was a lightness to him. You would never guess that this was the man they once called the Shadow. Now he was vibrant, spontaneous, with nothing left to prove. He seemed truly free.
Hi, man. Give me a hug, give me a hug. Thanks, Dad. All right. Come on, Gemma.
It has different, can you see? Because I see.
Yeah, that's some shit.
Yeah. Oh, my king.
I think I would be proud to see that I've moved on and learned different things, and I believe a lot of people become what I call crystallized, you know? Very early on. This is who I am. This is what I'm about, and that's it. I see it a lot with the people from the bodybuilding world. It's like they are Mr. Olympia or, you know, whatever champion they are, and they're a bodybuilder, and that is what they are, and that's what they'll be. It's not like I'm dismissing my past. My past it made me who I am, but I don't need to stay in the past, you know? I don't need to still be that guy in the past, and I don't need to feel, you know, the greatest thing in life, the greatest freedom is when you don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck what people think anymore. That's really freedom, yeah?
Dorian asked me to meet him on the beach. I didn't know what for. To see the remainder of this movie and find out what Dorian and I smoked on that beach, come to londonreal.tv and watch it for free. And for a limited time only, you can also see 6 hours of behind-the-scenes bonus footage, including my entire leg workout with Dorian in real time, our full interview at Joe's Smokers Club, and of course, the entire conversation at Dorian's balcony. We talk so much more in depth about his training, mindset, his almost vegan diet, how he feels about cannabis oil, so much there. So come back to londonreal.tv, join our community, and I'll see you on the inside.
Hi, it's Brian Rose from London Real. You probably know that we've just recently been re-platformed on YouTube after 25 months completely in the dark. The truth is, I really need your help. What I really need you to do is click on that subscribe button right now, like this video, and maybe even leave a comment or share the link with friends. We're really fighting against an algorithm that's tried to keep us quiet for so long, and the more subscribers we have, the more people watch our content, the better guests we can bring you, the better content, and we can continue transforming lives. We've been doing this for 14 years now. I want to do this for another 14 years, but I really need your help. So click on that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, share this, and we're going to continue to bring you more and more great content. Thank you. Most people will never see this opportunity. Dubai luxury transformation projects have historically delivered 40 to 90% annual returns. That is incredible. These were once reserved only for insiders with access. I spent 15 years on Wall Street and I learned this: the biggest returns always go to the people who get the call first. Now, you finally can. We've just received a brand new project with major upside potential. Allocations move fast. Click the link, apply now, and speak to my team. This is your chance to see what others never will.